Hello everyone and welcome to Diaspora Careers and Investments. My name is Shadrach, and in today's video I thought I would share one practical step that I have taken to help me manage in this ongoing cost of living crisis. Stay tuned. Unless you were born yesterday, we are all aware of the ongoing cost of living crisis, the rising energy bills, the increase, cost of items or groceries in the supermarkets, increasing cost of fuel and everything shows us clearly that, there is something going on. And there are those who have even predicted a possible recession. In fact, I have actually recorded a video suggesting, or offering some thoughts on what you can do to prepare for a possible recession. But I thought in this video, I'd actually share one, practical step I've taken, perhaps a controversial one, which I have taken or I took to help me manage with the ongoing cost of living crisis. And that was to charge my own brother rent. Yeah. So I asked my brother to pay rent to me. And before you come judging me, or before you come, waging the high moral, wand or something, do let me explain to you why I did what I did and how I went about it. And I actually think this video is beyond, is more than just Shadrach and, his relationship with his brother, but also, would offer some ideas regarding how we talk about money in relationships, whether be it, familial relationships or even love type of relationships. Because we know that, money can be the breaker, and yet not many people have the courage to talk about money in relationships. So I'll be sharing my own ideas or how I went about, having this money talk with my brother, and with the hope that it will also help you to be able to manage, the money talk in your various relationships. And beyond that, really, is also to show you how that actually has helped me and my family, get on through or are getting on through this ongoing cost of living crisis. So stay tuned. Don't go away. So by way of background, I've been in the UK for the last a few years, and in the last 3 years or so, I've been living with my brother until last year. A year and a half ago, when I married. Woo! So after I married, I was very fortunate that together with my wife, we put some money together to be able to buy, a 3-bed house somewhere still on the northwest side of Glasgow. It was a 3-bed house, and so that meant that if we used one for an office, we stayed in one, we would still have an empty room. And we stayed, in the house alone for a few months. And then, the ongoing cost of living crisis, kicked in. So we had to make some decisions as to what we could do with the spare room. Sometimes we have friends visit, but not too regularly, friends visit for maybe a weekend or so. And so we thought that even if we gave out the spare room for rental, we could still, have the spare room or the office space where friends could stay if they visited for a couple of days, so that we don't keep that, that spare room for, a hypothetical visit from friends, because everyone is working anyway. So it's not like you have the luxury to be hosting friends all year long. Anyway, so before I married, I had been living with my brother for the last 3 years until I married, really. And so at the time he had traveled, so when he came back, we offered him that he could live with us. And it was tricky. It was hard, deciding whether he should stay for free because he's my brother, or whether we should charge him rent. And if we are going to charge him rent, how much do we charge him? Those of you who have not seen my video on, getting a mortgage or something, you should look it up. It's really, informative. But in that video, I explained that, the mortgage comes with, for every month payment of the mortgage, it comes with the principal and the interest. And so in my case, the interest on my mortgage was about £200 per month. So assuming that every month I paid £700 for my mortgage on the house that we bought because we took a loan to buy it. Assuming our mortgage was £700 per month, 500 was going towards the principal and 200 was going towards the interest. And so at the end of the day, if we were going to sell up the house, it meant that we would have 500 times however long we've lived there because remember, even though we are paying 700 per month, the 200 is interest and it's going away, almost like renting. If you've seen my previous video, you'd see that I argue that it makes sense for us to buy because the interest on the mortgage is lower than what we would have paid in rent. And so even though the bank is keeping our interest, it's only £200 per month compared to if we were to be renting, you'll be paying maybe 500. So you do the numbers, and it makes sense for us to buy because the interest is lower than our rent. Anyway, fast forward. So we offered my brother to live with us on the condition that he pays rent, but he would have to pay, something lower than the market value, because if he was going to rent, when we were renting previously, we were paying about 700, so we shared it about 350 each. But the offer was that he was going to pay the interest on the mortgage, so that even though we are paying our own mortgage, we are paying the principal and he's paying the interest. So he will pay 200 per month. And then also, bills, obviously, even if he was living on his own, he will be paying bills. So we'll share the bills 3 ways because we're 3 adults in the house. So we all bath, we all, cook, we all do what we need to do. So we'll split the bills 3 ways. It worked out to be, let's say 150. It was a bit over that, but approximately 150. So we split it 3 ways so that he pays, 250. So that was the agreement. So one, he was paying something below market value if he was living on his own. If he was living or sharing a flat with someone, he was clearly paying at least £150 lower than that. But that also meant that we also got some income to help us, pay our mortgage. And I don't know what you think, whether it was a fair deal or whether, how could you, Shadrach, he's your own brother, how could you charge him rent? I mean, I would argue this way that, to me, and my brother, bears me witness to this, that it was a great favor that we did him, because one, he was studying, so it meant that he could save something compared to renting. But then also, come to think of it, I am having to pay a loan, a huge loan that I've taken, so that if he's my brother, why wouldn't he help me pay for that loan? So, and you can extend this conversation to, whether a girlfriend or a boyfriend staying with you, will you let them stay for free? And I know I have viewers from, all over the world, from Africa, or, where people, live in the house they've built on their own. And so they have no mortgage or no loan on it. But in my case, I have a loan on the house. And, I've got, maintenance to do. At one point that we were living in, there was a leakage from the street into the house. I had to get a plumber to come and check it out. I had to pay for that. I didn't ask him to pay towards that. So that you can imagine that if we did not have this conversation about money, about rent, about bills, and I asked him that, it's fine, come live for free, and I have to, repair this, repair that, I felt that, I may moan within, and may not, be the nicest, brother to him, because I feel that he's taken advantage of our relationship. But having him pay something meant that we still kept our friendship, or even brotherhood, while also, having a good relationship. And I absolutely enjoyed living with him. I would have no, even though of course he was paying lower than I would normally, get if another person was living there. I absolutely enjoyed living with him because I wasn't worried whether he would take care of the house in my absence, or I wasn't worried, about missing a delivery because he was often home. It was family, it was home. Recently, he got a job and so moved down south to England. But I guess, it's a good time to say that, I miss you, Mumin. And, of course, I would love to have you around anytime you visit Glasgow. And I wish you very well in England. Make sure you don't develop an English accent. Still keep the Scottish accent. So yeah, bromance. But yeah, I hope this conversation actually helps you also to know how to manage conversations regarding money, especially in diverse relationships. If you had your sister travel from say Nigeria to come and live with you in the UK, and their work, and all these nurses relocating. If your sister relocated from Nigeria as a nurse and they were living with you, would you charge them rent? Would you let them pay towards, how would you manage it? I'd actually like to know in the comment section. Do let me know. But in my experience, or in my case, having this conversation proactively and then, being very, upfront with it. And also asking my brother, what his thoughts were. And once he said it was agreeable, we kept on with that. In fact, it was just in the last month before he left that because energy bills were increasing, we had to, increase the price to reflect the energy bills. But beyond that, I thought it was, really peaceful, and we enjoyed our relationship very much. Do let me know in the comment section how you have managed, conversations around money in your various relationships. How are you getting on with it? Even for married couple, I'll do another video to talk about how we are managing our money as a couple. But do let me know in the comment section. Do you think I did the right thing? Do you think, I shouldn't have charged anything? Do let me know what you think. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to meeting in the next video. Stay blessed.